As Pope Francis ended the Synod on Youth this weekend, he said the Catholic Church was being persecuted by accusations from the devil.
In questo momento ci sta accosando forte.
It was an apparent reference to claims that he covered up for a sexual predator that had thrown his papacy into turmoil. During the Synod, bishops addressed the clergy sex abuse scandal and people with same-sex attraction.
I think some of the Africans bishops simply said, hey, this is not a priority for us. Our people are hungry. Our people are being killed in wars. They're forced to immigrate. Our young people are being trafficked.
In the final document, the bishops urged more decision-making roles for women within the church, but they did not raise the issue of women's ordination. Edward Pentin, Rome correspondent for EWTN's National Catholic Register, joins us. He's the author of a Register blog post, Youth Synod Final Document, 5 Areas of Concern. The most unpopular paragraph ad in the document, with 65 Synod fathers voting against it, is on sexuality. Let's take a look. Section 150 speaks of a church commitment, quote, against all discrimination and violence on a sexual basis. Ed, why is this paragraph so controversial?
It's controversial, Lauren, because the Catechism states that it's not all discrimination, but unjust discrimination that's at issue here. And what people are concerned about is that, for example, if somebody might want to dismiss an employee who's guilty of sexual misdemeanors, they may not be allowed to on the basis of discrimination under this new passage in this document. And so that's causing some concern. But also, this paragraph is also a worry to some because it has rather ambiguous language, and it talks about deepening the anthropological study, a deepening of the anthropological study in the church of sexuality. And some people see that as a means of getting in an agenda which seeks to normalize homosexual relations in the church. So that's another concern as well.
We've been asking you over the weeks whether or not LGBT was in the document, final document. Was it?
No, it wasn't, but these other elements have gone in instead, and that's why I think people are concerned that they've sort of gone around, some in the Synod have gone around that and tried to get it in another way.
The final document says the church should give greater recognition to women, including in decision-making, Ed, but women delegates were not allowed to vote on the final document. Tell us what the final document says about women.
Yes, well, exactly that, Lauren. It talks about giving women a greater role at all ecclesial levels, a greater role in decision-making. It's quite interesting, though, that this wasn't actually, it didn't figure that highly in the Synod, but it has figured highly in the final document. And even in the draft document, it didn't figure that highly, but it did in the end. And so, again, that's an area of concern that people think it might be used as a means to either bring in women deacons, which is a controversial issue, or even further down the line to give women priests, give the possibility rather of women priests in the church. So again, that's another concern.
And quickly, you said there were 5 concerns. Give us a little bit more on the rest of those concerns.
The sexual abuse was another issue. Some Synod fathers, especially in the United States, wanted that to figure more highly, and they were disappointed that it wasn't, because a lot of other Synod fathers didn't think it was so much of concern to them, because they're not affected so much by the crisis of sexual abuse. So that was another one. But there are good elements too in the document, and it's not. Although there are these concerns, I think people feel there's a lot good in there as well.
Thank you so much, Edward Pentin, Rome correspondent for EWTN's National Catholic Register.
Thank you, Lauren.